Youth Service has been rocked by another scandal that has potentially led to Kenyans losing billions of monies. The CS maintained that the recent alleged graft involving NYS arose from corruption scandal that marred the institution between 2013 and 2015, adding that some individuals involved in the heist are demanding billions from the government for supplies that were never delivered. Speaking in Gatundu North constituency, Kiambu County, while officially commissioning the Kamwage Huduma Center, Ruku raised the alarm over the ballooning pending bills at NYS and formally requested the EACC to verify the legitimacy. The ministry flagged multiple payments claims submitted to NYS by suppliers and sought authentication of the demands.
Yale ambao wameongea katika hiyo gazeti ni mambo ya mwaka ya 2013, 2014, 2015 na 2016. Na hakuna Mkenya ambaye anjui kulikuwa na maneno pale katika hiyo kitengo ya serikali. Na sisi kama wizara tulihakikisha kwamba all the pending bills saa hiyo mwaka ya 2013, 2014, 2015 na 2016 inaangaliwa kwa umakini. Ndio tulisema all the pending bills of those years must be properly audited. Na zikaangaliwa na zikapigwa ndarubini. Na tukasema siri ambazo zilikuwa za hewa haziwezi lipwa na serikali kama wizara.
And in other news, Lugulu Girls High School is emerging as a shining example of the national government's investment in national schools in rural areas. Parents of students newly admitted into grade 10 have lauded the Ministry of Education and the school administration for major improvements in infrastructure as the inaugural grade 10 class is admitted to various schools. They have particularly commended Chief Principal Dr. Dina Cheriot for spearheading the upgrade, saying the enhanced facilities will improve a safe, modern and conducive learning environment for learners. One parent, Claire Siele from Bomet County, expressed great joy and confidence that the school is well prepared to offer quality education and smooth learning for incoming grade 10 students.
And we are happy that this school made it nationally in their KCSE exams. So being the piloting one with the grade 10 learners, I believe in this school and I know that our girls will come out successful in future through their different pathways they have taken.
Nimefurahishwa sana na hii shule. Imefanya vizuri kwa kiwango ya kitaifa.
I want to thank my teachers for the support, for the guidance. I performed well. I got 65 points. I'm so grateful to join this school. It's a very good school.
Farmers in Naivasha are counting losses running into millions of shillings following persistent invasion of their farms by wildlife as a result of the biting drought in the area. The most affected are villages including Nyamathi that border Mount Longonot and Hell's Gate National Park, where tens of buffaloes have turned private farms into their territory, leaving a trail of destruction and misery. Farmers including Susan Gatere and Peter Njoroge say they have incurred losses due to fruitless efforts by KWS wardens to stop the invasion of the animals, especially during the night. They also say school children in the area are forced to report to school later due to fear of being attacked by animals.
Na hizi nyati zinakula kila everyday, na tumekuwa tukiita watu wa KWS na wakikuja sioni usaidizi juu the following days zinakuja. Hasara kama yenye nimepata kwa shamba it's more than 50,000 na naomba compensation.
Kwa hivyo tunatarajia ya kwamba sasa kama mvua itakuja February mwezi wa 3 na wa 4 tutakuwa tumepata chakula. Sasa chakula chote kimeharibika, hata sijui mwaka huu utakuwa namna gani.
Na wameharibu mahindi dogo, inalomba mara ya kwanza na siku ingine inarudi mara ya pili inachota ile kidogo ilibakisha.
Sasa imemaliza shamba yote. Kwangu imekula mpaka ndizi, machungwa, makorofia yote na mahindi na hii kagoro. Na ndio tunasomesha watoto naye.
A section of political leaders from Matungulu East Machakos County have called on the government to ensure that the placement of students in national secondary schools is conducted in a fair, transparent and merit-based manner, warning against the politicization of the process. Led by Matungulu East MCA hopeful Jonathan Mutinda, the leaders said the ongoing debate around national school placements risk undermining the hard work and academic achievements of learners who qualify purely on merit. The leaders expressed concerns that recent political statements and lobbying could open the door to favoritism and discrimination, particularly against bright students from less connected families. They emphasize that the merit-based placements promotes equality, national cohesion and confidence in the education system.
Hata watoto wengine hawana mashule, wanataka fees, hakuna walipiwi. Sasa tunataka tufanyaje? Na sisi tumeseka. Kwa hivyo hii kazi ipewe vijana ambao wanaona habari ya kesho.
I'm aware. How are you selecting the schools? Because most parents selected schools, a majority of them went to STEM, and now they are lacking schools. Simply because a parent was just pushing for a school, but was not aware of really what it meant, getting a particular school.
Tunaomba kwa wakati vijana wote tuchukue kura na tuwe tayari kutoa viongozi ambao watusaidie, alafu tuchague wale viongozi ambao wataleta usaidizi katika kijiji yetu.
Na hata drugs, vitu kama hizo zinachangiwa ni vijana hawayuko kazi, hawana kazi. So we want leaders wenye watatafuta solution yenye vile tutasaidia young generation.
Still on education, the Teacher Service Commission TAC has allayed fears among parents over the quality of education that learners joining grade 10 will receive under the competency-based education CBE system. Speaking at Goro Sare High School in Homa Bay County, TAC Chief Executive Officer Evelyn Mittel assured parents that the teachers have been sufficiently trained and were ready to implement CBE in senior secondary schools. The rollout of the first grade 10 classes under the competency-based education CBE system has been marred by a number of concerns, including teachers' readiness to implement CBE. However, Mittel said the teachers underwent retooling to handle learners at the senior secondary level. She urged parents to have confidence in both teachers and the CBE system, noting that CBE focuses on practical skills aimed at problem solving, which aligns with the country's development agenda.
As an employer, we have trained teachers, and our teachers are competent to receive learners in grade 8. I know we've had challenges with CBE education, and most of you are worried that can our teachers receive learners in secondary school and implement CBE? Yes, they can. We have trained them. They are ready and willing to support your children.
I am strongly calling upon President Dr. William Samoei Ruto to include and increase more affirmative measures for the women representatives so that we are productive, we are practical, we are realistic in youth empowerment, in girl child empowerment, in boy child empowerment.
Senior schools in Kisii and Nyamira counties have moved to streamline a curriculum design for grade 10 learners as the country transitions to the new education system. Schools are harmonizing teaching to ensure a smooth integration of both the competency-based curriculum, CBE, and the 844 system. At Moi Kisau High School in Masaba South, Chief Principal James Momanyi says the school is aligning the curriculum to ensure all learners follow a unified timetable and learning schedule. Momanyi notes that harmonizing learning will help the school assign teachers to the appropriate subjects, ensuring grade 10 learners are engaged immediately and do not lose time.
We plans are in top gear to ensure that we have interpreted the designs, the curriculum designs, and be able to start assigning teachers appropriately in the areas of teaching. We are moving to ensure that we have synchronized the teaching timetable so that it can be able to accommodate the grade 10 learners and the continuing students so that we can move at the same pace.
The major challenge that we have at the moment is that some of the subject combinations we are understaffed. We do not have teachers in the subjects that we were allocated students, but we don't have the personnel. But however, we will employ those teachers so that the curriculum will be implemented in full. And I'm asking the Teacher Service Commission also to consider us and give us more teachers.
Now, a 60 million shilling taxpayer-funded retail market in Kitengela town remains deserted after power supply in the facility was disconnected barely a year after it was officially opened. The two-story market, opened in March 2025 after stalling for nearly 6 years, has been without electricity for the last 4 months. Kenya Power disconnected supply of accumulated electricity bills amounting to 400,000 shillings. The second floor is now deserted, with traders reporting losses and unmet promises of a 24-hour economy. Kajiado County says high power costs are to blame and is considering green energy, even as it owes Kenya Power over 100 million shillings for markets and streets lighting.
Miezi mbili tuna stima, mwezi wa tatu stima ikapotea na ikapotea kabisa, na tulipoulizia tukaambiwa hata zile soko zingine hazina stima, si eti ni ya Kitengela peke yake. Kwa ya gorofa ikusaidia chochote, juu huku chini tu ndio kunafanyiwa kazi na sio vibanda zote, hata zingine hazina watu.
Tunataka serikali kama ya Kajiado itusaidie turudishie hiyo stima. Watu wanatoa kila ushuru kila siku, wanaitisha ushuru kila siku, na hatuoni usaidizi wowote.
It is exactly 13 minutes past the hour. We need to take a short breather. When we come back, we'll tell you more news and, of course, as well as sports and the matches that are upcoming within the English Premier League. So don't go too far.
Where is the balance between what's a good decision and what's a godly decision?
Parents or like mentors or pastors, they're older than us, so they've experienced more than what we have. So when they tend to give us those advice or decisions to make.
He felt bad after because the decision isn't good in the end, because God's decisions are always good, so we should always follow them.
If it's good according to the standards of the world, then it is not necessarily godly.
I think our environment and things we interact with, like social media and friends, they most of the times influence the kind of decisions that we make.
La Jumamosi saa 1 jioni, kuna sauti mbili zinazotawala anga ya habari. Dada wawili pacha, magwiji wa ulingo wa habari.
Karibu sana katika dira ya magwiji.
Magwiji kwa upekee wa sauti, mtindo na maarifa.
Katika enzi ya sasa iliyosheheni mabadiliko, tuko ange kukuletea taarifa, fafanuzi kutoka kila pembe ya dunia.
Jamila na Wanjiru wanakupeleka kwenye safari ya taarifa, uchambuzi na uhodari wa matukio yanayotikisa dunia.
Tunajizatiti kukupa taarifa sahihi na kwa wakati.
Habari kwa jicho la kitaalam.
Tuna hamu na hamamu katika kuuliza maswali stahiki yenye kuwajibisha.
Na sauti ya uhalisia.
Tupe sikio na macho kwa taarifa za kina.
This project was started in
our district in the year 2008. And we donate hands to amputees whose hands are amputated below the elbow, 5 to 6 inches.
Persons with disabilities across the country need to recognize that they are the voice, and their voices need to be heard. Many caregivers feel lonely and require psychosocial support, but they also need to recognize that you cannot fill from an empty cup. You need to be the voice of your child.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Now, on the political front, Kakamega Governor Fernandez Baraza has proposed regional party zoning be included in discussions on the political cooperation between the ruling United Democratic Alliance Party UDM and the Orange Democratic Movement ODM. Governor Baraza at the same time warned ODM members of parliament from Kakamega who are allegedly planning to defect to UDM that they may face political challenges in the future.
Speaking in Kakamega town after meeting ODM leaders from the county, Governor Baraza also serves as the ODM county chairperson, said Kakamega remains a stronghold of the ODM party and urged UDA leaders to respect the party's dominance in the region.
Kakamega tunasema ni ngome ya ODM. Sini hivyo? Yes. Na tutahakikisha kuanzia kwa kiti ya MCA. Yes. Kuenda kwa kiti ya mbunge. Yes. Kufika kwa women rep. Yes. Kuenda kwa senator. Yes. Kuenda kwa governor. Yes. Hadi president, tutachagua wale ambao wako kwa coalition ya ODM na UDA. Na hapa Kakamega, licha ya kuwa na coalition, sisi tunasema ya kwamba Kakamega is an ODM zone.
His remarks come ahead of the ODM delegates meeting scheduled to take place in Kakamega town this Sunday, which is expected to be attended by top party leaders, including ODM party leader Oburu Odinga. In the meantime, Ugenya Member of Parliament David Ocheng has warned the Orange Democratic Movement ODM and the United Democratic Alliance UDA against political deals that will undermine democracy in the country.
We don't want political dealership. We don't want political deals that tell us that, oh, now you run people here and you can't run people there. You can do your coalition agreements. MDG is part of Kenya Kwanza. MDG signed and delivered an agreement with Kenya Kwanza to the ORPP.
Ocheng, who is the lead of the Movement for Democracy and Growth MDG, said whereas it was in order for ODM and UDA to engage in talks ahead of the 2027 general elections, it will be foolhardy for the two to enter into a deal that will result into political zoning, where a political outfit will be restricted from fielding candidates in given areas.
If you want to know what zoning does, check what happened in the by-elections. By-election in Malava, turnout was 47%. In Kasipul, where we had a candidate, turnout was 46%. In Mbere North, turnout was 47%. In Ugunja constituency, turnout was 24%. 24. Ugunjaka. Nigachango. Because there's no competition.
Elsewhere, Kenya's representative to the East African Legislative Assembly, Iela Suleiman Shabal, has warned that any attempt by a section of ODM leaders to push out Cabinet Secretary for Mining Hassan Ali Joho from the party could severely weaken and divide ODM.
Hassan Ali Joho has been with Raila from 2004. He stood with Raila kwa hali na mali all those years. Okay, if you look at the time when Baba was being sworn in as the people's president in Uhuru Park, when all the leaders ran away because they were scared of treason, who stood there? Joho.
Shabal said sidelining Joho was the former ODM deputy party leader and longtime ally of party leader Raila Odinga, would backfire and create a dangerous political wedge within the party.
There is a deliberate attempt to divide the party within, and there are people in the party who are being used to break up the party, because a united ODM is in a very strong negotiating position. A divided ODM will become a bunch of chickens running around.
Timothy Kipnusu for Lunchtime News.
Now listen to this story. What began as a family's fight to bury their son with dignity has taken a disturbing turn in Rongo, Migori County. After months of court battles, violent clashes and unanswered questions, police enforcing a court order exhumed a grave believed to contain the body of a General Service Unit officer, Dan Ayo. Instead, police found a different body, raising fresh questions about the circumstances around the burial, which was done inside a church compound in Migori County, where the officer was presumed to have been secretly buried last year. Ben Chumba with that report.
Police officers spent more than 6 hours at St. Joseph's Mission of the Messiah in Africa in Rongo, executing a court order that was meant to bring closure to a painful and long-running burial dispute. The grave they opened was believed to hold the remains of Dan Ayo, a General Service Unit officer who died last year while seeking prayers at the church. Ayo had arrived at the church critically ill with his wife on March 27th. He died shortly after and was buried the next day within the church compound. His family says the burial was carried out quietly without their knowledge or consent, denying them the chance to take his body home for burial in line with Luo cultural practices. What followed were months of tension, court battles, and deadly confrontations. Last year, attempts by the family to retrieve the body triggered violent clashes between relatives and church members, leaving 2 people dead and several others arrested, including church leaders and the deceased's father. A Kisumu court later ordered that Ayo's remains be exhumed and reburied at his parents' home in Kano, citing concerns over secrecy and the circumstances of the burial. But when the grave was finally opened, investigators made a discovery that stunned even seasoned officers. The remains inside did not belong to Dan Ayo. The body exhumed was that of a woman.
Mwili tumepata hapo sio ya Ayo, sio ya mwanaume, ni ya mwanamke. Hiyo mwili ndio tunahitaji. Juu hatukukuja hapa kwa authority yetu, tulikuja hapa kwa ile simu tulipigiwa na ile order ilitoka kwa serikali. Sasa ile kitu tunataka ya kwamba bado tutakaa hapa mpaka siku ambapo tutapata hiyo mwili.
The revelation has raised serious questions about what happened on the day of the burial and whether the officer's body was ever placed in the grave at all.
Jamaa alikuwa afisa kama wale wengine na hawawezi wakashughulikia hiyo maafisa mwenzao. Sasa ile kitu inanishangaza, walikuwa wanatuita ili wasike baba ya Ayo, na baba ya Ayo pia ako na usuni. Sasa inashindwa, hii tunaelekea wapi hapa Kenya?
Ayo's family now says the search is far from over, vowing to continue until the whereabouts of their son's remains are established.
Nikienda Rongo, nimepata kama sio brother yangu, nimepata kama mama. Sasa tunataka serikali asaidie hawa.
As police widen investigations, residents living near the church say the revelations have left them fearful, confused and demanding answers. One question remains unanswered. Where is the body of GSU officer Dan Ayo? Ben Chumba, Lunchtime News.
Let's hope the family will get justice. Elsewhere, KOTU Secretary General Francis Atwoli has been re-elected unopposed as the General Secretary for the Kenya Plantation and Agricultural Workers Union for another 5-year term. The delegates meeting at the Tom Mboya College in Kisumu also endorsed the veteran labor union's Supermore to contest for the position of the Secretary General of the Central Organization of Trade Unions KOTU in August. At the same time, Atwoli has lashed out at the United Opposition Terminal terming it a clueless outfit without a clear strategy on who will take over the mantle after the demise of ODM leader Raila Odinga. Atwoli said most politicians in the outfit were self-seekers without a clear vision of how to play opposition politics.
Union, the national office, I present to you.
We have no position currently in Kenya now after Raila Odinga. These other guys are just opportunists. Because they know we have somebody called Kalonzo Musyoka who has been with Raila for a long time. They are still saying we will sit and choose one amongst us. Why can't they say we have Kalonzo Musyoka and let Kalonzo Musyoka as an old politician lead us in the opposition? But because they are selfish, they want each and everything for themselves. They would say, oh, you know, we will have to meet as opposition and get one of us. And some of them came yesterday. Some of them cannot even. And I can assure you for free, next year in August, I think that is when we will be conducting national elections. It will be this time when Ruto is a president. That one I can tell you for free. It will be this time when Ruto is a president.
The Railway Workers Union of Kenya has elected Eric Kipkoech as the new Secretary General. Kipkoech replaces John Chuma, who has served the union for over 3 decades. The union also voted to elect Emmanuel Otieno as the new chairman, replacing Francis Olore, who has served the Railway Workers Union of Kenya in different capacities for over 50 years.
In his acceptance speech, the newly elected General Secretary Brother Eric Kipkoech said the results marked a turning point for railway workers and for the future of their union. In the next few days, we shall formally write to the COTU Secretary General Brother Francis Atwoli seeking his support in rebuilding the union.
And let's take a look at the stories making headlines in the world of sports. The East Africa Junior Golf Rankings official teed off its inaugural tournament at the Windsor Golf Hotel and Country Club, marking the formal start of the first ever regional junior golf ranking system dedicated to junior golfers in East Africa. A total of 25 junior golfers aged between 6 and 18 years participated in opening 18-hole round. In the boys under 10 category, Hashim Mutungi of the St. Ruth returned an outstanding level par 72 gross to lead the field, with Warren Waihenya of Nova Pioneer posting 89 gross. In the girls under 10 category, Zara Mutungi of St. Ruth led the 102 gross, followed by Courtney Len of Moruri.
The first ranking system in the region, our aim is to tap, train, develop golf in juniors around the region.
To AFCON now, where Egypt head coach Hossam Hassan says that the team's campaign at the African Cup of Nations in Morocco has provided valuable preparations for the 2026 World Cup preparations, despite the failure to reach the final. Egypt were beaten by Senegal in Wednesday's semi-final in Tangier and will now face Nigeria this evening in the third-place playoff for bronze medal. Hassan noted that the match against Nigeria presents another important opportunity to fine-tune the squad ahead of the World Cup, which will be co-hosted by the United States, Canada and Mexico later this year. Of Egypt's 28-man squad, only 3 players are based in Europe, including captain Mohamed Salah of Liverpool, Omar Mamouche of Manchester City and Mustafa Mohamed of Nantes.
The Egyptian king from the land of the Pharaohs scores goal number 3. What about the pass? Algeria doesn't make for him. That's a great ball! What?
Now to Europe, where Frankfurt were held to a 3-all draw by Werder Bremen in the German Bundesliga encounter last night. In Italy, Atalanta Bergamo could not hold on 3 points for just 7 minutes as Pisa scored 4 minutes after Atalanta took the lead to a 1-all draw.
Pisa scored only their second home goal of the season, with 3 minutes left to draw 1-1 with high-flying Atalanta Bergamo.
Scalvini. Zappa Costa. De Ketelada. Past Coppola. De Ketelada. Scalvini. This is Raspadori. Comes here now to Edison. Still there. And they have managed to turn it in. Nikola Krstovic wheels away. Called in by Lenis Judasimi! Pisa's most expensive ever signing. Immediately coming good. Flying header to draw Pisa level. Final score then here. It is Pisa 1, Atalanta 1.
And before I go, these are your matches. The English Premier League, a mouth-watering clash in the next few hours. Manchester United welcome Manchester City at the Old Trafford Stadium. Of course, Manchester United with a new coach. Who knows? They could pull off the impossible and beat their rivals. Now, Chelsea versus Brentford, Leeds against Fulham. Liverpool will face on Burnley as well as Sunderland versus Crystal Palace. Spurs will take on West Ham. That is a London derby. As well as Nottingham Forest and Arsenal will be playing in the last match of Saturday, depending on the outcome at Old Trafford. And all United fans, we are behind you this afternoon. My name is Abdiaziz Hashim. The sign language interpreter at the bottom end of the screen is Baron Abuli.
Looking to advertise on KBC? KBC announcement services are now available on eCitizen. Visit kbc.ecitizen.go.ke and fill out the online application form. It's simple. 1. Complete the form. 2. Upload required documents. 3. Receive a quotation based on word count. And 4. Get notified via SMS when your announcement is ready. Please note, clearly indicate the type of announcement, service station, and all relevant details.